Hey there. I am so excited to share this amazing packaged deal with you. So the first thing you're probably wondering is this a deal that applies to me, to what I teach or what I do? Well, this book is reading level of grades 4 through 6, so that if that applies to you, it is perfect for teachers, it is perfect for tutors, it is perfect for families who are supporting distance learning, or families who decided to homeschool and are looking for some materials and resources. So it is an interactive text, which I'll be showing you in a few minutes. It's teacher tested and approved. And I can tell you, I have used this twice with my students, and they have absolutely loved the experience. It is aligned with the Common Core, grade levels 5 and 6 especially, and SEL aligned. So all of those important social emotional learning skills that we are really trying to hone in on at the beginning of this very unusual school year, it has questions built in that will allow you to segue into some conversations which will get at those social emotional skills and social emotional awareness that we want to be working on with our students. The platform that it uses allows interactive close readings tools for our students to practice their comprehension skills. It works with Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams, but if you're not one that uses one of those, if you use like Schoology, it can work on its own, or it can be shared just as a link in any platform. It is really ideal for distance learning or hybrid learning or in-person learning. I have students who are in person and students who are going to be learning virtually from home, and I plan on using it with all of them. Especially in person, we can't use communal supplies, right? So there is no book sharing. And I have two classes of over 20 students, and I'm not going to lie, that cost itself is pretty up there. So I'm really excited to be able to offer a digital text to all of my students and the experience of being able to customize it from my teacher end to hone in on really important skills that I want to be working on. So it is totally customizable, which I'm going to show you in a moment. So again, I said it was recommended for grades 4 through 6. The story itself is about two boys who are on this crazy adventure, using a time travel app or trying to figure out how to use a time travel app on a phone to find a cure for cancer. The story itself, this is the first book in what are two books right now, and you'll get access to the second book. So there's no real cliffhanger of having to wait. You're going to get, with this package deal, immediate access to the second book. So the students really get into it. It is definitely a book that you learn the character personalities well. It works really well with so many different reading skills. So whatever it is that you're looking to work on, you can customize it for that. So this package is typically $50, but the author, Tom Kiernan, is really looking to help teachers out right now, and has cut it in half with the coupon code of back to school. So it is just $25. So wait, there's actually more. Let's move this down here. With that package deal, with all of that stuff, and I'm going to show you how it works in a second, you're going to also get, like I said, the ability to use the interactive digital text for the sequel, Junkyard Dog, and wait for it, a virtual author visit. So if you sign up for $25, you get all of this, and we have no field trips going on right now, right? And author visits are just amazing anyway. It makes students feel incredibly special to meet the person who created the story that they love so much. So along with this, you'll be able to connect with the author and schedule your own virtual author visit, whether it is on Google Meet or if it's on Zoom, Skype, whatever it is. Tom is excited to work that out with you. So let's take a peek at the platform that it uses. So This is just a random spot in the book, and you can see that it has the text all digitally. This is from the teacher end. So you have some questions that are already built in. Those are the ones that either are aligned to fifth or sixth grade Common Core. You'll get a companion guide that tells you what standards are aligned with what questions, and or SEL components. So it could allow you to get to know your students a little bit better on the social emotional end, or an opportunity for you to hone in on some reading skills. So all of these questions here, this again is the teacher end, you have the freedom. If you don't like the question, Tom's not going to be insulted. He's trying to help you out. If you don't like the question, you can delete it, you can edit it. You can also change the points associated with it. You can also insert your own new question. So you can either write it all on your own, or there are all of these really great question stems that you can use. So in addition to questions, you also have the ability to insert a discussion. So the difference between a question and a discussion is just that. The discussion, students get to see each other's responses in a discussion thread, so they can kind of build off and respond to each other. Whereas a question is completely private as far as the student's submission of their answer goes directly to you as the teacher. All right. So you see this question here on the teacher end. Let's go over and take a look to see what it looks like as a student. So this is the student view. The text looks identical. And when you go down here, obviously, they don't have the ability to edit it because that's only for you as the teacher. But the students' answers here, they type right in, it auto saves, and then you're able to view their responses live. So the question says, if Lumpy, that's a nickname of one of the characters, asked you to take the selfie, would you have taken it? Why or why not? So I'm just going to just type in test here. We're going to go back to teacher view. So you could either click to view all responses, and all of your student responses would populate right here for that question. And you can give feedback. You can give the amount out of the 10 points or whatever you associated with this question. The other way that you can monitor students is right in the top, which I'll show you in a second. So let's go back to that student view. Now, students have those close reader tools available to them. So what do I mean by close reader tools? There's a highlighter on screen, and there's the ability for them to take notes, to annotate, right? What we are always striving for students to be able to do is not color on their page or their screen, right? And have meaningful notes. So just to show the highlighter tool, it is right over here. So they simply just drag and it highlights. And along with the highlighting, they're able to add a note with it. So from the teacher end of things, you'll see over here, you can view student annotations when there are some. So you'd click, and then I'm the only one that's here in this test class, but I could click on Amy, and then I can see that Amy highlighted this and she wrote a note. So that's a great feature to have, because I don't know about you, it's great when all of these softwares and platforms have the capability for students to highlight and to take notes, but I want to be able to see them, and I want to be able to see them in a meaningful amount of time to be able to provide that feedback. So again, as a student, there's also the chance for them to insert a sticky note. So you may be like, why do they need a sticky note when they could just write a note on something highlighted? Maybe it's not associated with a text. Maybe it's just a response or something they're feeling or thinking, a prediction. But the other cool thing that students can do in the post-it here is they can actually insert images or YouTube links. So what I used this with my students for was that I had students Google image search images to show how they thought the characters were feeling. So just to do one quick example here. So to go to Google Images really quickly, then I actually always tell my students to type cartoon after anything to keep it appropriate, right? So sad cartoon. All right, so let's put Bart in here. They can just click to copy the image, come on back, and they click to paste. So when I go back to the teacher view and I view those annotations that Amy made, I also can see that she understood that the character was feeling sad here. So again, you have the chance to completely customize this. There are questions built in, but you can totally change those questions or edit those questions or add in a bunch of your own. All of this can be shared and assigned through through Insert Learning if you'd like to put the roster onto there, or it can completely sync with your Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, or if you're working on another platform and would just really like to be able to share a link, you can do it that way as well. So as you can see, the amount of features that are associated with this package far exceed what any of us, any teachers, could ever think about getting for $25. I would probably pay more than $25 to just be able to give my students the experience of a virtual author's visit. In addition to that, I'm getting access to this amazing Insert Learning platform. You'll also receive, if you would like, upon purchasing, all of those questions that have been inserted and embedded into the story for students. You'll receive a folder of them as Google Forms. So if you're a Google Classroom teacher and you would just like to push them out as quick form questions because you want to hold on to them and have them stored in Classroom instead of here, you will have that option as well. There's so much capability for this to far exceed anything that I would ever associate with $25. And I felt as though I needed to share this with you all. I hope that you guys give this an opportunity and try it out with your students. Students love the story, and you are going to love the package. So if you are interested, the link is in the comments right here. It will bring you to the buy page, which along the left side has the same visual we were just looking at, and you would just go right to buy now. One important thing to know is that you do need to remember to use that back to school code so you get the $25 instead of the regularly priced $50. And that when you sign up, you'll be getting two different kinds of access. You'll be getting access to the digital text that you'll be sharing with your students, but you'll also be getting access to Insert Learning. So the text itself, when you set that up here, you're going to type in an email address and password. That email address and that password you are going to be using as your student logins too. So make sure you choose a password that's not your password for everything, that it is something that you feel good giving out to your students and that your students will be able to remember and use. But then they will have access individually as a unique login for all of the assignments from Insert Learning. Really hope that you give this a shot. Telling you, it'll be the best $25 that you have ever spent.